Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we got new tools to check out. We got a new project to do. We're gonna cut an 8-foot Santa Sleigh 2 times out of 1/2-inch plywood. It's drawn on here. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. But we're doing it because where I work needs a display for Toys for Tots. They always used a Toyota Tacoma. We'd fill it up with toys. It's not really available to us this year. So because of the car shortage, we need something more permanent. And I'm gonna cut this out. I called my buddies at Skil and I said, hey, would you guys like to participate in this? And they said, absolutely. So they sent down these 2 tools for us to use. We got the Power Core 12 Jigsaw, super cool looking. And we got the router, the 10 amp fixed router. The 10 amp router we're gonna use and you're gonna see it, but that one's gonna get its own video. So keep an eye out for that. I ordered the table for it. We're gonna do it with the table. The jigsaw, man, we're gonna use that jigsaw today. There's a lot to cut out. We're gonna get this stuff out of the box. Let's have a quick look at it. And then we got a ton of work to do. Let's get moving. So Skills got me to the point where I can pretty much do this entire thing with the tools they've sent me for review. This one here has a Diablo fine-tooth blade in it. It goes through this like absolute butter now. That thing's awesome. I'm only really using it when there's a big chunk and I've gone along the perimeter and there's a big chunk hanging and I'll just relief cut it with this so nothing breaks. We have one little hold of drill, and this one here is what we're really here to look at. This jigsaw works fantastic and it's so small and easy to use. This is the way you can hold this, all the different ways that you can get a firm grip on this thing. I'm cutting while I'm pulling and turning. It's crazy good. I'll show you how far I get on one battery. It'll give you a good gauge. I've been using it on speed 3. There is an automatic setting. We can start out by using that and you can see how that works, but speed 3 works just fine for me. I have it on number 1 for the oscillation. This is no oscillate. This is crazy oscillate. On 3, it'll move real fast, but there's a lot of tear out. With no oscillation, there's almost no tear out. It's clean as hell, but it takes forever. So happy medium is 1. So you can adjust the bevel on this. You can see it back here. You grab your Allen key and you loosen this cap screw on the bottom here. Once you have that real loose, you can adjust the bevel. You loosen this up. That's maybe a little too loose. You got 0 and you got this pin that'll index and you go 45 either way to bevel your shoe. And you can just tighten it down like that. Tighten it down. There you go. I did the entire first half with just one of these little Diablo scroll blades. This works absolutely amazing. I was still going. I could have used the same one for this one, but I figured, nah, we'll get a fresh one. So we got a fresh little blade. This router here, my plan was to round off everything, but I didn't realize quite how fragile this was going to end up being, and I'm not touching a router to any of this. We'll do a little hand sanding, but the main perimeter will get a round off. So when people are putting gifts inside, nobody's cutting their hands and, you know, splinters. All right, let's put the blade in this and let's get cutting. So we've seen what a 2 amp hour battery can do. We got all the way around here. We started to come in from there and got to like right there. So 2 amp hour battery, this thing is just gonna flash forever. It's been flashing for like 5 minutes. I took a break, I sat down. This is about 222 inches or 18.5 feet on one little tiny 2 amp hour battery. That's pretty impressive. I'm impressed. I mean, if you're not in the United States, that's 5,772 millimeters. That's a lot of millimeters. Even more impressive, I think, is we did it all with this little tiny scroll blade. I guess I'm easily impressed. The little puffer inside here keeps this whole area here clear so you can see your line. I like to see ahead of me so I know where I need to start, you know, sweeping one way or the other. So I don't wear a dust mask so I can blow on the material constantly because I like to see where I'm going. Got a fresh battery? Let's keep going. We got all kinds of scroll work to do before we can drink beer. So let's get moving. So the entire perimeter is done. We did 1 full battery and 1 bar off this one. We got all the way around this thing. It's 8 feet long. It's pretty impressive. The first battery, it's on the charger. It's got 3 bars, 1 bar left. It has been, I don't know, what is that, 17, 18 minutes? So I feel like you could probably work non-stop with 2 of these 2 amp hour batteries. We'll see. We'll see if I can kill this one before that one's charged, but I think it's fine. Just starter hole. I've done all of this on 3 up until now. Stick it on the A for auto. When you start it up, it's pretty slow. Let's see what it does. We'll start right here. See if we can't hear it speed up to adjust for the material. I mean, it's not much material, it's 1/2 inch plywood, but let's see what happens. So it got caught there a little bit, and man, it sped up like crazy when I tried to make that turn. Did you hear that? Let's keep going, see what happens. Holy crap. So, I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be doing. It's real slow, and then all of a sudden, crazy time. Let's try it again. Didn't do it that time. I don't know. I don't know if something's wrong with it or I don't know how to use it. As far as I know, auto just meant auto. You can see here, it sped up and I tried to just stay with it to see what would happen. And I got pretty far off my line there. It was just moving too fast. I couldn't get it to turn fast enough. I've been using this thing for hours and hours, and I never did really figure out how to use the automatic setting. And it never really worked for me. It would go from super slow to super fast and screw me up. It's not hard to find the speed you need. You got to adjust the oscillation anyway, which is here. So honestly, I don't care. It doesn't affect my opinion about this at all. It would be cool if it really worked, man, and it dialed into the perfect speed for any material. I would tell you how cool it is. But for at least this one, doesn't really work. And yeah, don't care. I would buy this in a second, with or without it. I'm gonna stick with 3. I think 3 is the sweet spot for this for me, at least for me. I find when I'm doing this, putting clamps on the parts I've already cut where there's a big section, this really helps for stability. Otherwise you get a lot of shake-ins, 2 parts are loose, and it kind of messes me up. When I do this, it helps a lot. Battery number 2. Here's our first battery, ready to go. Took about 45 minutes. Back in action. So really, you only need 2 of these 2 amp hour batteries to be good. I guess it depends on what you're doing a little bit, but so we've got a 2x4 under here. We're gonna relief cut all this with the jigsaw. I'm gonna trace this out and we're gonna reinforce this rail because this is like one little kid kicking it away from just snapping off completely. It's pretty delicate. It looks cool. I like the design, but very delicate. So we'll try out the jigsaw. We'll get a heavy duty cutting blade and we're gonna cut all this out. Let's see how it does on a 2x4. So in the end, we could have just ripped a 2x4 on the table saw, 2¼ inches, which is what this rail is. But in the end, I think that looks just a little bit nicer. And honestly, it took like 10 minutes to cut this out. So we're gonna whack it hard with the palm sander, soften everything up. We'll put some glue on it, we'll screw it to this, and then kick the side of this, which is going to happen. At least it has some defense because this is sort of fragile stuff. We probably should have went with 3/4 plywood. That would have made more sense, but that's heavy and probably about $500 a sheet, so here we are. So let's talk about why I think this is such an innovative design and why I like it so much. Really what it comes down to for me is how low the handle height is. You get your hand right down by the work. It gives you more of a connect with what you're doing because everything is right here, including your hand. The other thing I love is this handle design for here because a lot of times if you're coming around and you don't want to stop your cut, I can grab the top of this and continue to turn it and pull it towards me and we can go around like that. It makes a huge difference. This handle design is really well thought out and man, it's been a pleasure to use, honestly. The switch, simple and easy, it's right there. Full on, no messing around. By contrast, this is my jigsaw. I've been using this thing for years. I own a corded Milwaukee too that I haven't seen in a long time and it's probably buried in my basement somewhere. This is also an inexpensive jigsaw. I think these are less than $50, still tool only. But when you're using it, your hand's all the way back here. And it gives you this long tool to look down. And it just doesn't give you the confidence to do these little scroll cuts. I've always struggled with making scroll cuts like this project we're doing, and this is part of the reason. Now, could you grab this and pull it towards you? Because it has a constant on. You pull the trigger and push this button down and it stays on. And there's things about this I like. It's been fine. I use it for small things, like to nip a corner off something, but there's nothing wrong with this tool, I'll tell you, except this. This is better. I put the 4 amp hour battery in it just so you can see the size difference. And the height of the handle, for me, makes all the difference. This one I like better. For more precise work, I would choose this design every time over something big like this. So it's router time. We're gonna use the Skil router they sent us. I already have the 1/4 inch round over ready to go. We're gonna use these Skil router bits that have been mine for years. I don't use them a ton. The round overs and the dovetails mostly, but this has been a really good little set. I think I paid 70 bucks. It's been here long enough to where the label's coming off that strip. All we're gonna do is round over just the outside edge. I'm too afraid to round this over, and I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. This is for a commercial display. No one's gonna scrutinize it this close, and I'm pretty happy with the scroll work. And if I broke one of those off now, I would probably cry on camera. I'd show it to you, but I'd cry for sure. So we'll fire this thing up. I gave it a couple of trial cuts and it works pretty good. No problems, no complaints, but we're gonna do a real review on this, so keep an eye out for that, probably within a month. All right, let's get routing. I really feel that a tool set is the sum of its parts, and it is. Because if you have a tool set you like, almost everything's good, but a couple tools you use a lot aren't good, then you have to get batteries for other brands to make up those tools, and it's just a pain. But everything so far that Skil has sent me for review of their cordless tools has been good, like very good. And this Jigsaw might just be my favorite one, man. This thing kicked butt. I used it a lot. We put hours on that thing in the last week and a half, and it didn't skip a beat. Not a beat. I'm impressed with this freaking tool. In fact, it's become one of my favorite tools around here, I think, and I can't wait for my next large scrolling project where I get to use this thing. So the router worked totally fine. It did exactly what a router is supposed to do. We're gonna get a real video on that, and it's coming soon. I got the table in the mail, and we'll see if that's any good. So this goes with its table. It usually comes as a combo set. We'll see about that. The little circ saw, thing's awesome. It's just good. If you're looking for a new set of power tools and you're thinking about what brand to go with, you don't want to spend a lot of money, consider the Skil. If you're gonna use a jigsaw, man, this one's really good. So I'm gonna end this video with a small word of advice. If you've never put a brand new toy in a collection bin in the holiday season, go do it this year. I promise you it'll put a smile on your face knowing that some little child's gonna have a toy and a better holiday because of you. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. Hit the subscribe button. That really helps too. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.